single day. Jalen, who are the only two players to win an NBA title on 3 different teams?
John Spider Sally and an original championship stretch 4, Robert Ory.
Oh, my goodness, he did
Yes,
get it right.
he did. Yes.
Himbo getting owned this week.
He got
Himbo,
it
you
right.
are trash.
It is.
You got Detroit, you got
trash.
the 90s. I was in the league.
You were so much better when I first got here. I don't understand what's going on.
It is remarkable to me that you can't remember how we do the segment, but you managed to get the answers right. The offseason can very often be a confusing time. Luckily, we have the one and only Jalen Rose himself who can see the future. This is a man who has foreseen so many things that have happened in the NBA. It is ridiculous. And so let's see what we've got. I got some questions for you here to answer. Here's the very first one. Where is Kawhi Leonard going to sign?
You gonna do that to me? I say Toronto.
Ooh.
I say when the dust settles, he's gonna flirt a little bit with the Lakers. Gonna allow the Clippers to flirt with him. He's gonna go right back to Toronto and have a nation behind him. A training staff that allowed him to create load management and win a championship. He's the guy who's on brand with breaking the dynasties, the super teams, not joining them.
I kind of like that one, maybe with my heart as much
hope
as my
so.
head. You guys agree or disagree?
I just think the way that Masai Ujiri has handled everything, the white gloves, the way all of his teammates have answered everything, the way they brought his medical staff to collaborate with theirs, it's all set up for them to make another run at in Eastern Conference.
Oh, you guys are adorable, both of you. But no, I think he's probably going to go to the LA, to the Lakers, and this is why. He was traded to Toronto. He could have been traded anywhere, right? And it worked out. He owes the city, he owes the country nothing. He gave him a championship. Now let me go do what I want to do, what I've been trying to go do. Again, it's the same as Kyrie. This is my very first time getting a chance to pick.
Yeah, but sometimes what you wanted to do a year ago changes, of course, that year.
That's Paul George. I mean,
there you go,
he
exactly.
changed his mind there. We'll see if he does. All right, next one for Rostradamus.
Okay.
Essentially, next year, the Nets, after signing Kyrie and KD, they swap out Kyrie for D'Angelo Russell, and KD will not play. So, where do the Brooklyn Nets finish this coming season in the Eastern Conference?
So this year they were like 42-40, like 6 seed.
6 seed.
Yep.
But the thing that people sleep on, they were really far behind the Pacers. Like 6 games behind 5th. And that's without Victor Oladipo. So I feel like they'll be closer to fighting for the playoffs than they will be to hosting home court in the playoffs.
I tend to agree with that. And Jay, you and I have talked before these decisions came down, when it all looked like KD and Kyrie were going to go to Brooklyn. We suspected it was going to happen. That year in between was going to be a very interesting time. The injury to Kevin Durant is so significant because that year where it basically is Kyrie's team, this is a dangerous little time, I dare say.
Well, I mean, the history is right there. We just seen that the past year. Kyrie came in, even though he was traded there, he wanted to get out of Cleveland, and he had a lot of youthful talent that he had to lead. So now, once again, the only thing I would say is if Kevin Durant is around, that can help kind of buffer some of the issues that Kyrie might have. Them working together collaboratively than just Kyrie being alone.
Look, I agree. This is a very kind of touch and go situation, but I believe that because Kyrie picked here, this is where he wanted to be. I think some of the things that might have bothered him in Boston or in Cleveland, they won't bother him nearly as much here. That's
my brother. You big on this he picked thing. Let's think about
the he pick.
So Kyrie picked to go to Duke. He got a chance to be coached by one of the greatest coaches ever.
Yeah.
Got a chance to play in Cleveland with LeBron James, one of the greatest players ever. Got a chance to go to the Celtics. They have more championships than anybody. He got some good situations.
No, he didn't. I'm not saying the situation was bad. I'm just saying this was his first opportunity since he went to Duke to sit back and say, let me evaluate where I want to go do.
Let me go to the next one for Mr. Rostradamus here. You heard Bobby Marks earlier this morning on Get Up say he does not think the Warriors are going to make the playoffs this coming season. So same question for them. Where do they finish in the West this year?
Same as the Nets. I don't think they host home court, but I think they'll be fighting for their lives. 7th seed, 8th seed. It's what I thought about the Lakers going into this past season. The exact same thing I see for these Golden State Warriors. If they can stay healthy and Steph and Draymond are hitting on all cylinders, integrate D'Lo, try to bring back Boogie, 7th seed in the Western Conference.
Okay, so do you get a sense, Jay, that there's a better chance they are markedly better than that or markedly worse than that? Meaning they sneak into the top 4 or they miss the playoffs entirely? Which is their better chance?
I think they missed the playoffs barely. I think they barely missed the playoffs. It's going to be right there. And you talked about health, J. Rose. They do have to stay healthy. But the usage rate for Stephen is going to be way higher than it's been in a long time for him, right? Can he maintain that as he gets older? And then Draymond Green, that's a big question to me. I know it's a contract year, but one of the things that made him so great is that he had guys like Clay, guys like Steph, to pass the ball to and knock down shots. I mean, can D'Lo do that? He's just having the ball in his hands all the time.
But that's why D'Lo's not always used to having, because he played with Karis LeVert. He played with Spencer.
But he wasn't playing well with Karis LeVert, though. He wasn't playing well.
He hadn't played.
He put Karis LeVert in front of him. D'Lo was coming off the bench.
He hadn't played as well at the level that he did when he left, but they were still playing well.
Okay, and I have one more for you here, Jalen Rose Stradamus. Give me your way too early prediction for next year's NBA Finals.
I'm going Philly in the East, and I think they overcome the Bucks. In the West, I'm going with the Lakers. They already have LeBron. They already have AD. And if they get Kawhi.
That's not fair.
We talk so much about super teams. We've never seen 3 of the top 5 players at the same time.
Wouldn't that just be
the best super team of all time?
I would not.
Of all time.
This is the most super team. This is super friends.
We haven't even talked about Kuzma. We haven't even talked about Kyle Kuzma. We haven't even talked about the possible additions around like JR and Andre Iguodala. Are you serious?
They're coming too.
Can we analyze what just happened here? Did Rose Stradamus just predict that Kawhi is going to go back to Toronto and then predict the Lakers are going to win the West because Kawhi is going to be there?
That's so typical J. Rose, though. I love it. If he goes.
Kawhi
How about if he doesn't?
You ready? If Kawhi don't sign with the Lakers, you know who I'm taking?
Tell me.
Utah.
That's a popular pick these days. A lot of people picking the Utah Jazz with the additions they made with Bogdanovich.
Yeah.
Denver. You've been the guy on the Denver Nuggets bandwagon forever. How did
you ready for this? Ready for this? You want the Western Conference Finals?
Yeah.
Utah and Denver.
There you go.
And don't sleep on Bol. Remember I told you that. Michael Porter Jr. and Bol. Remember I told you that.
I like all the action is going to be in the Mountain Time Zone. All right, we had one very big story in the NBA today. It was not the one we've been waiting for. We're waiting to see what happens with Kawhi. Instead, what we got, courtesy of Woj, is the 76ers offering Ben Simmons the max. 5 years, 168, basically $170 million max extension. What exactly has Ben Simmons been in his career? Well, he was the Rookie of the Year in his first season. Remember, he didn't play in his true rookie year. Won Rookie of the Year the first year that he played. Made the All-Star team in his second. Has certainly not demonstrated the ability to stretch the floor, and that would be quite an understatement. He has played more than 6,000 minutes and has never made a three. That is the most by any player in the NBA the last 2 seasons. And what the other 2 guys on that screen have in common is they're both centers, and Ben Simmons is a wing. So I will ask this question again because I can't find anybody to agree with me as Zach and Legs come back here. I just believe there is a ceiling on how valuable you can be and how much money you can be worth to a team. I don't care how good you are at everything else if you can't shoot the basketball at all.
So this is what you do? You sub out people till you find guys that will agree with you? Is that what you do around here all day long?
Yeah.
Right? Is that basically how this works?
Disagree too many times and you won't be back. I'm telling you.
All right, here's where I'm going to clarify what you're saying. There is a ceiling in terms of what that player can be in the league. By that I mean, can you become an MVP if you can't score from all over the floor? No, you cannot.
No.
But is his value to this team in trying to win a championship there to justify this contract? Yes, it is. So I think there's 2 different questions in what you're talking about. It depends on what else is around him. But your ceiling as a player and your status in this league and the totem pole that exists with the top guys, yes, absolutely. You can't break through that if you can't score outside the league.
I think we're understating the significance of this. This is a hell of a thing not to be able to do. Let me ask you a question. Last year, when we watched them play in the playoffs, who did you want to have the ball in their hands when they needed every big shot?
Well, Jimmy Butler.
The one guy they didn't keep. The one guy they
I
didn't
agree.
keep.
That's why I'm not as high on Philly as a lot of other people. But this is what I will tell you. Every great player in history has had a formula of what you need around him. Whether it was Shaq, right, having D. Wade, having Penny Hardaway, having Kobe Bryant. If you look at big men, they've always needed a finisher around them. We have to look at him like a big man. Even Akeem Olajuwon in his first championship year, he had shooters all around him. Mario Elie, Robert Horry. Like, you could just look at great shooters at Kenny Smith. So for him, you need shooting around him, and a lot of it.
I don't think anyone disagrees with you.
I think everyone disagrees with me.
But we all saw the playoffs. Yeah. We all saw that they moved him out of the way and gave the ball to Jimmy Butler. I just don't know Were they not supposed to sign him to this contract? That's my question.
What I'm asking the question is, go back in the history of the NBA and find me a great player who had the ball in his hands as much as he did, who shoots as little as he does.
No one is disagreeing with
It's
that.
never happened.
It's a problem.